Hello, my name is Hassan and I'm a digital literacy specialist with Markham Public Library. And today we're going to be learning how to use Scratch, which is a free web-based programming language to create our very own chase game. Now, in terms of using Scratch, there's a couple things you're going to need to learn how to do. On the left-hand side here is all the stuff we can use to control and code our chase game. You can play around with motion, looks, sound, events, control, sensing, operators, and variables. Now, in order to create a chase game, we're going to need three things. We're going to need a background to make it look cool. That's number one. We're going to need one sprite, and the sprite's going to be our character. We're going to use that character to control how we want our game to be played. So we want our character to be able to be very nimble, be very quick, and be able to move around. So that's going to pick a character. And then third, we're also going to need a second sprite. Now, the second sprite is what we're going to be using to move around, to chase something. It's going to be the object of our chase. So in my case, I'm going to pick a basketball. And I'm going to have my character be able to move around and catch this basketball, depending on where you need it to go. Now, to be a little bit more creative, I'm going to get rid of the original sprite here. And what I'm going to do is pick my backdrop. So choose a backdrop. And then let's see if I can find something cool. I'm going to, it's a classic, pick the arena. So we have basketball arena. And you'll see it should show up on the right side of your screen there. But the next thing I'll do is actually pick a sprite. So I'm going to click choose a sprite. And this is going to be our character that we're going to be able to move around. And you'll see that you can organize them by type of sprite. I'm going to pick people. And I'm going to see who I can pick to be my chaser. Let's go here. So this is going to be sprite number one, or my main character. And what I'm going to have my main character do is be able to move around with using all of my arrow keys on my computer, which I'll show you how to do later. And another sprite we're going to need is something for the object of our chase. So in my case, it'll be a ball. So we're going to have our character be able to move around and actually play a game, which would be pretty cool. So I'm going to pick a basketball here, and let me just move it to the side, just more cool. Cool. Now, if I want to code for my character, I'm going to click character. If I want to code for the basketball, I'll click basketball. To start, we're going to code for my character, so I'm going to click character here. And the first thing I want to do is be able to make my character move left and move right. Now, in order to do that, I need to code for my arrow key, and I need to be able to say, when you press this arrow key, I want you to move this way 5 steps, or 10 steps, or 15 steps. In my case, I'm going to choose 10 steps. So I'm going to click Advance for control, and I'm going to see if I can find, actually, instead of control, I'm going to use events. So I'm going to click my events box, and you'll see what I did is I actually dragged it all the way over to this work plane, which is here. And this is where all of our code is going to work from. So when left arrow pressed, we're going to click motion, and then I'm going to click change X by 10. And what that's going to do is that X stands
for my x-axis. So x-axis, in my case, is going to be left to right, and my y-axis is going to be up and down. So this way is my y-axis, and left to right is my x-axis. So basically what this is happening here is when I'm going to press the left arrow key on my keyboard, my character is going to move 10 steps to the left, which is X. Now, I have to do the same thing now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to events. I'm going to click when right arrow is pressed, I want you to change X by Now, I don't want it to do the exact same thing on both sides, so what I'm going to do is have it be -10 here. Now, let's see what happens when I try to run my code. So if I notice when I press my left arrow, it's moving right, and my right arrow, left. Now, if I want to fix this, what I can do is I can click this little box here and change that to right arrow and change this one to left arrow. Now, the reason I did that was to just show everyone how to troubleshoot these particular buttons. But what I've done is, since this is a positive number, I wanted X is 10. That means I want my right arrow key to move to the right, which is 10 steps positively. Now, if I want it to move backwards, that's where this handy little negative sign comes in. So if I change X by -10, it'll press the left arrow key and my character will move left. And so when I read my code now, left, right, right. Cool. All right. So for my next step, what I'm going to have to do is do the same thing, but make something for my up and down keys. So I'm going to go click Control, click Events. We're going to click. When my up key arrow is pressed, we're going to change Y by 10, so that my character will move up 10. And then what I can do maybe is Control C. I just copied and pasted it. So if you press Control C on your keyboard and Control V, what you'll be able to do is copy and paste your code, which makes it a little bit faster. And then I'm going to go -10. Now when I run my code, if I go left, I go left. If I go right, I go right. If I go up, I go up. And if I go down, I go down. So Y-axis for up and down, X-axis for left and right. Now, we have two sprites here. We have our sprite for our character and also the sprite for our ball. What I'm going to do now is create some code for my basketball. So if I click basketball, you'll notice that all my code from before disappeared, but don't worry, if you click the character again, my code will show up. So I'm going to click basketball. Now with the basketball, I'm going to have it do a couple of things here. You notice I clicked that green flag earlier. This green flag is our go flag, and basically what that means is going to run all of our code when we're ready to run it. Now, to actually make it so that this ball is going to be moving all over the place so that it's easy, it's harder to get, I have to randomize its movement, and I want it to randomize its movement as soon as I press this green flag. So to do that, I'm going to click Events, and then I'm going to click when the flag is clicked, and I'm going to go forever. Now, what I'm using here is this forever tag because I want this ball to move as long as this flag is clicked. And what I want the ball to do is to move in a certain direction. So what I'm going to do is look and see if I'm going to look for the glide option, which is glide 1 second to random position. Now, what glide means in this case is my ball is going to move in random spots every second my game is running. So I'm not going to run it yet, but what it should be doing is it's moving in random directions depending on where my character is. Doesn't really matter. The ball is moving all over the place. So I'm just going to hit stop. And what that does is stops my code. So now that I have a ball moving and I have my character can move as well, which is awesome. Now, I'm going to go back to my character sprite now, and I'm going to add some code so that if it touches this ball, then I want my character to play a sound, or say hooray or let's go. So what I'm going to do is click Control here, or Events, click my flag clicked. I'm going to find that handy forever tool. And now I'm going to explain this next step. What I have to do is tell my character, I'm going to get something called an if statement. And what this if statement will do is if my character touches the ball, then it's going to play a success sound or a happy sound. I have to pick which one I want. But we're going to click if, and I'm going to put that in my forever loop. And you'll notice there's this cool little shape in the middle here. If it touches basketball, so if my character touches the basketball, what I'm going to do is if I have my code here, and I'm going to put it in this little shape here. So when I click this flag, all the time, if my character, which is character 1, touches the basketball, I'm going to have play sound, and I'm going to do just a pop sound. That's fine. Cool. So I'm going to run my code now. So you'll notice when my ball hits, and let me just share my audio. So you should be able to hear it, but when my ball moves around and it touches my character, you're hearing a pop sound. So I'm just going to stop my code for now. But yeah, we have a couple of things here. So we have our character, and we have our ball moving around, and you'll notice I'm going to run it again. I can also move my character left, right, up, and down. Move it, and if my ball touches my character in any way, the ball pops down. So I'm going to click stop. Now, if I want to make this even more fun, I'm going to create a score variable so we can keep score of how many times my character is able to catch the basketball. So to do that, I'm going to go to variables, and I'm going to make a variable, and I'm going to call it score. And I'm going to click OK. And I now have a score variable for my specific game here. Now, I'm going to have it so that anytime my character is able to catch the ball, they're going to get 1 point. So you'll notice as soon as I created that score variable, it showed up in the top left-hand corner of my screen. And with my character selected, so I can see all of my code, I'm going to click change variable. So in terms of my order, the order is important here. I have it so that anytime the game is played, so forever, if my character touches the basketball, I'm going to change the score to 1 and play the pop sound until done. So now when I run my code, my number's going crazy. So it's touching the ball. Anytime it passes through my character, it's adding score by 1. But since the ball's going all the way through my character, it's adding even 1 points, which is pretty cool. There's a couple of things you can do to get it to bounce off the character so that it catches the ball. But since I was able to get the score working and the ball is running all the way through my sprite, I should be good to go. So let me run my code again. And the ball is going all the way through, and it's adding points anytime it bounces or goes all the way through my character. So let me just put my ball somewhere in the corner there. And let's run my code again. So if I hit so what I'm trying to do is chase it. And yeah. So that's how to make a chase in a nutshell. So what's happening over here is I was able to code my left, right, up, and down arrows. And I was able to create some code so that anytime my character touches the basketball, it'll change the score by 1 and also make really cool sounds as well. So it's adding score depending on how well I'm able to catch the basketball. And it's adding it 1 relative to each piece of my character. So now I should be the end of my actual presentation. But I hope you had fun and you learned something new.
Scratch has a lot of cool stuff with making things bounce off objects as well, so I highly recommend checking that out. But I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today, and hope have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in.